I would like to thank the chair and the committee staff for their work on this bill. And I would like to thank the concerned stakeholders, including the Land Title Association, grocers, retailers, and Business Properties Association, for working with us on this bill to make progress toward a compromise on the bill. Recent amendments to the bill provide a local government process to strike a restrictive covenant instead of revoking all existing restrictive covenants. In 2023, California declared access to food as a human right. But for many people, that right isn't a reality. So today, more than 1 in 5 Californians is experiencing hunger. Nearly 3 million low-income Californians live in food deserts and do not have reliable access to affordable, healthy food. The vulnerability to food deserts can be made worse by practices used by individual players in the grocery industry. When a grocery store closes or relocates, they sometimes leave behind restrictive covenants that can keep a new grocery store from moving in. These restrictive covenants are clauses in leases or property agreements that limit what businesses can operate on a site. In some cases, restrictive covenants prohibit future grocery store use for anywhere from 15 to, in some cases, 50 years. This leaves entire communities without a nearby option for fresh, healthy food. As a result, residents are forced to rely on smaller stores with fewer healthy choices and often higher prices. This can lead to serious health consequences. Limited access to nutritious food is linked to higher rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and premature death. Access to healthy food is essential for public health, but these practices continue to lock many communities out, especially in small cities and rural areas and communities of color. You know, not everyone can drive miles to another store, and moving a grocery store across town is not always a real solution. We need to stop these practices from happening and restore access to grocery stores in underserved communities. This bill gives communities the tools they need to restore access to grocery stores. This is a practical step to restore access to healthy food and support communities that have been left behind. With me today, I have Kameron Mims-Jones on behalf of Nourish California and Beth Smoker on behalf of California Food and Farm Network. We also have Lee Hepner with the American Economics Liberties Project available for technical questions. Thank you.
Chair and members, thank you for the opportunity to testify. My name is Kameron Mims-Jones. I'm a proud Southern California native, the daughter of Fremont Pathfinders, where we find a way or make one. And I'm here on behalf of Nourish California, a statewide anti-hunger policy organization with over 30 years of experience advancing equitable access to food across California, in strong support of AB 1857. I come to this work grounded in a deep listening to communities across Los Angeles and our state, and in commitment to help share the stories of Black Californians and all communities impacted by communities that shape where food is and is not allowed to exist. When a community loses its grocery store, it doesn't just lose a place to shop. It loses access to stability and health. Food insecurity is linked to long-term diseases like diabetes, heart disease, poor child development, and shorter lives. Those are not abstract outcomes. They are predictable results of policy decisions about where resources go, and ongoing lasting legacy of uncorrected racial discrimination. In Black communities across California, a supermarket loss has followed decades of redlining, segregation, and disinvestment. In Los Angeles, many grocery stores closed after the 1992 uprising and never returned. For many residents, the disappearance of culturally relevant grocery stores has felt like a punishment for demanding justice. Families are often forced to travel far outside of their neighborhoods just to buy basic food. With gas prices continuing to climb, why would we be okay with community members having to spend the highest percentage of their income traveling for human basic needs? Restrictive covenants exacerbate these issues. When stores leave, they leave these legal barriers that prevent another grocery store from coming in the store location for decades. Communities could not see these restrictions and they could not challenge them, but they lived with the consequences. AB 1857 is an important step towards acknowledging how policy decisions have contributed to unequal food access. We respectfully urge your aye vote for AB 1857. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Kalra and members. My name is Beth Smoker with the California Food and Farming Network. As a cross-sector network of 50 organizations working upstream to address food insecurity by removing exploitive market practices and putting community well-being first, we are a proud co-sponsor of AB 1857. Food prices have risen nearly 30% since 2020. A grocery cart of basics, bread, chicken, vegetables that cost $34 in 2019 costs $50 today. We keep hearing prices went up because of supply chain, the pandemic, tariffs, but the Economic Policy Institute found that over half of recent pricing increases were driven by corporate grocery profit margins. As grocery chains consolidate, they've used their market dominance to raise prices beyond inflation. Meanwhile, Albertsons profits grew nearly tenfold and Kroger's surged from $5.1 to $6.8 billion in 5 years. Restrictive covenants are one tactic grocery stores use to eliminate competition and lock in those high prices. And AB 1857 removes this tactic. In food deserts, this food affordability crisis compounds. Residents are forced to rely on convenience stores where food can cost 50 to 100% more with fewer healthy options. In Vallejo, a Safeway closure with a restrictive covenant left a neighborhood without a grocery store for 15 years. A community member shared that an entire childhood was spent without one nearby, costing families their money and time, two fundamental barriers to healthy living. AB 1857 would prevent this from happening to another community ever again by prohibiting the use of grocery restrictive covenants in the state. A small but bold step in addressing public health when even a single experience of childhood hunger can have lifelong impacts. And food insecurity specifically drives over $7 billion in annual healthcare costs in California, the highest of any state in the nation. In closing, restrictive covenants are a private mechanism that lets corporations undercut the state's own declaration that food is a human right while serving no community interest. AB 1857 begins to rectify this. I urge your aye vote.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here in support of AB 1857?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Chris McKaylee on behalf of Fullwell, a nonprofit advocating for sustainable food policy. Thank you. In support.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members. Danny Kando Kaiser on behalf of Cameo Network, a proud supporter.
Thank you.
Chair and members, Kathy Mossberg on behalf of the Public Health Institute and their project Roots of Change in support, as well as End Child Poverty California.
Thank you.
Good morning, Lizzie Guansona here on behalf of the Office of Kat Taylor in support.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Matthew Moss on behalf of the LA Food Policy Council, the San Diego Food System Alliance, and Farm to People in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Loyal Terry, proud co-sponsor of the bill on behalf of Economic Security California Action, and in support, or as well in support, GLIDE and Institute for Local Self-Reliance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Kate Eager on behalf of NextGen in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here in opposition to AB 1857?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Louis Brown on behalf of the California Grocers Association. We issued a letter of concern. I want to thank the author and her staff for meeting with us. We appreciate the amendments that have been moved into the bill and hope to remove our opposition soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? Okay. No problem.
Hello, Ryan Elaine on behalf of the California Retailers Association. We're associate our comments with the grocers as well. Thank the author for working with us. And the California Business and Properties Association also want to echo those concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll bring it back to committee. Any questions or comments? Assembly members Zabur.
Good morning. I think this is a really needed bill. I did have one question. So would the bill prevent a situation of having two supermarkets in sort of the same sort of strip mall? The one thing, obviously if you have no supermarkets, these restrictive covenants to prevent a market from coming into a neighborhood is a really bad thing. And obviously I'll be supporting the bill because I know that that's the intent of that. The one situation that I had some amount of slight concern of, it's a pretty common business practice when you actually have shopping center establishments to make sure that you actually only have sort of one of different kinds of establishments in order to make sure that the supermarket or the whatever survives and you don't have competition within that. Is that something that this bill would prevent?
Leon,
Thank you for the question, Members Burr. I do believe there's a provision in there that restricts co-location of grocery stores or allows for the restrictions on co-location of grocery stores within a single strip mall. But generally, I think our perspective, my perspective as an antitrust attorney, is you would let the market solve that. There are multiple instances where grocery stores might serve different sectors of the market, a high-end specialty store and a general needs store. And co-location of those types of facilities is not something that a bill like this or a restrictive covenant should prevent.
Okay.
Would you like to answer?
No, Lee's right. So there is an exemption in the bill that allows for there to be a restriction of only one grocery store in a shopping center as long as that grocery store has its doors open. We know of many cases that they call dark stores where stores will actually still pay rent, but will keep the store, technically keep the lease live so that it can keep out competition.
Great. Well, that satisfies my concern. And the reason why, it's there is that sometimes you need that in order to make the store in the shopping center viable. And so, there are some good reasons sometimes to have a covenant like that, but also, having a Safeway and a Trader Joe's isn't a bad thing because they serve sort of different markets. In fact, you would want that. But it sounds like this is addressed in the bill, so I'll be supporting it today.
And before we continue, I'm going to ask if our secretary can get quorum established.
Calra,
Here.
Macedo, Barakahan, Bryan, Connolly. Here. Dixon. Here. Harabedian. Here. Pacheco.
Here.
Pappen, Sanchez, Stephanie.
Here.
Zabur.
Here.
All right, quorum's established. We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? I'd also like to thank the author and the opposition. There's been a lot of work on this. I think that this has been a very detail-oriented bill. The concept is very high level, but when you get into the weeds, especially with the covenants and have to go back to real estate law and classes I didn't enjoy very much in law school. But one of the things I do like about it, especially coming from local government, it goes back to the local jurisdiction, local government. They're in the best position to decide in a particular neighborhood, street corner, working with the neighborhood business associations, the local neighbors and neighborhood associations as to what the needs are. And I think having these covenants make that decision for those local jurisdictions is a problem. And I think this is opening up the opportunity for neighborhoods and communities to take back ownership of what they want to see in their community. And so I really like it and like the direction the bill has gone in out of respect for some of the legitimate concerns or opposition. I would like to be added as a co-author.
Right.
And would you like to close?
I sure would. No community should lose a grocery store and then be prevented from getting another one for decades, and we've seen that. This bill gives communities a fair chance to bring grocery stores back, improve access to healthy food, and support public health. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Do you accept the amendments?
Absolutely, I
Thank you.
accept those
Thank
amendments. And I'll probably accept more later on, too.
Motions do pass as amended to appropriations. Calra.
Aye.
Calra, aye. Macedo. Barakahan, Bryan, Connolly.
Aye.
Connolly, aye. Dixon. Harabedian. Harabedian, aye. Pacheco. Pacheco, aye. Pappen. Sanchez. Stephanie.
Aye.
Stephanie, aye. Zabur.
Aye.
Zabur, aye.
All right, we'll place that bill on call.
Great,
Thank you.